Coprolalia causes involuntary swearing and inappropriate tics. This can include the N-word, slurs, etc. I am a black person and even I have the N-word tic.
Jamie Foxx responds to Michael B. Jordan being called a nigga at the BAFTA Awards. All right, man, let's get into this thing. So we got this BAFTA Awards. I don't really know what that was, but I guess it's a overseas, British, UK or something like that. And I guess these two melanated brothers, while over there presenting the very first award of the night, was called an N-word by, I guess, a Tourettes activist. So let's see if we get any more information on this.
Yo, this BFTA's moment just turned into a full-blown internet firestorm. Jamie Foxx is now speaking out after a controversial outburst during the BFTA Awards, and the conversation has gone way bigger than just one moment on stage. Because now people are split into two sides. One side is saying what happened was offensive, period. And the other side is saying people do not understand how Tourette's works. And once Jamie Foxx jumped in with his reaction, it went viral fast.
Hold on, let's see what he said. Nah, he meant that. Out of all the words you could have said, Tourette's make you say that. Unacceptable. All right, we see Jamie Foxx going in on Instagram right here. Right? Nah, he meant that. All right, okay. Let's see what else.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making. We're here to
So here's what happened. At 2026 BFTA's, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage presenting when John Davison, a Tourette's activist who was in attendance, had a series of audible outbursts during the ceremony. According to multiple reports, one of those outbursts included a racial slur, and then immediately shocked the room and set social media off. BFTA
Okay, so where was this his only outburst of the night? This is the first presentation, first award presented. So was all his outbursts at this moment, or was he having outbursts throughout the whole night? Because it says a series of outbursts, but is it expanded throughout the whole night? And was it just for them?
later apologized, and the BBC also apologized for not editing the moment out of the delayed broadcast. And then
Wow. And you want to act like these people, whoever the award people are, didn't want this to get out. This is a delayed broadcast, meaning they can edit out things. They can edit out things they don't want to get out there. So obviously that this award ceremony or the people that run this award show wanted this to get out or had no problem with this getting out. So for future references, any melanated person that goes to these things, you know what side they're on. Unless they haven't heard about this story, but this story is picking up a lot of traction, So we understand that BAFTA wants this out. I mean, you can't say that they don't want it out when it's a delayed broadcast, and they could have easily have edited this out. So you can't say that they didn't. You know what I mean? They didn't know, or they couldn't have done anything like it was a live broadcast. This was a delayed broadcast that could have been edited.
this is where it gets even more complicated. Host Alan Cumming addressed the audience during the show and explained that Tourette's can include involuntary tics and verbal outbursts.
Good evening. Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making. We're here to celebrate the artists who expand what's possible on screen.
You may have heard some strong and offensive language tonight. If you've seen the film I Swear, you will know that film is about the experience of a person with Tourette's syndrome. Tourette's syndrome is a disability, and the tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette's syndrome has no control over their language. We apologize if you were offended.
Reports also note that BFTA said attendees were warned that there could be involuntary language noises during the ceremony. But
And that's okay. Okay, you say it's Tourette's people there. Things might be said. Things might be whatever. But this is a delayed broadcast. where you can edit things out. The guy who just made that speech, he shouldn't have to make that speech because you could have edited it out. Nobody even had to know about this. Maybe some circulations behind the scenes or things probably could have came out from behind the scenes. But yes, if BAFTA would have edited this out, it wouldn't have been on BAFTA. But now this is all on BAFTA. And whether this dude is, I don't know, bro. I don't know, Tourettes, this and that, whatever. I don't know, whatever. But I blame this more on BAFTA, if anything. And then if you do know it's a possibility of this, like, it's a delayed broadcast. You know it's a possibility of this. Why hasn't the thing just been edited out? That's the simple question. It's not really that complicated.
Jamie Foxx was not feeling the explanation. Jamie reportedly commented on social media calling the moment unacceptable, and also wrote that he believed that the man meant that. He meant that and that comment instantly lit the internet on fire. And once Jamie said that, the reactions start pouring from everywhere. Some people back Jamie 100%, saying the impact matters most, especially when Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo being the ones on stage.
Hi, Michael! It's even better when there are two of you.
Others pushed back hard and said people are confusing harmful impact with intent, and that Tourette's tics are involuntary.
Ignore how I look right now. Pretty great kitchen. I am not feeling too great. However, there is something I have been asked to talk about,
Part of movie making.
and that is going to be the BAFTA situation. I have been seeing a bunch of outrage about it, people saying, oh, well, why would that even be in his vocabulary? He did that on purpose and all of this stuff, and that racism is to excuse. A very bitch sad day for the Tourette syndrome community, especially for the ones that have coprolalia, because when you come online and you see thousands of people hating on your condition, specifically coprolalia, because that's something that is already very embarrassing for all of us. Not going to say that people can't be offended by the fact that somebody said the N word as a tick. However, it's not something that somebody can control. It's not something that somebody wants to say. And I've been seeing a lot of people be like, well, he said it like when the crowd went silent. That is most likely when a tick is going to happen when you're in public, when you're in complete silence, or when you're trying not to say or do something. So we must understand what coprolalia is.
But I do, okay, let's see what coprolalia is.
Coprolalia causes involuntary swearing and inappropriate tics. This can include the N-word, slurs, etc. I am a Black person, and even I have the N-word tic and slurs as tics. This is something I don't see many talk about because of situations like this. Is it a disappointing thing? Shut up! That it happened in public in front of that entire crowd, specifically to Michael B. Jordan and the other presenter. I'm so sorry, I do not know his name. I wish I did, but no disrespect to him. I just am not too aware. Yes, it is a very unfortunate situation. Seeing so many people say that they would invoke violence against people with coprolalia if they can't control their tics. That's ableism. The fucked up thing that this happens, yes, but it's something that we can't control. Aggression in the brain being triggered. Shut up. And ultimately causing inappropriate tics. Michael B. Jordan and the other presenter have the right to be upset, especially if they were not aware. However, we need to understand and educate ourselves. And on my videos, I constantly see people saying, oh my god, it's so funny. If I had cursing tics, I would be laughing all the time. But when people actually have cursing tics, then they're a bad person and this and that, the third. We need to do better. We need to educate ourselves better. This is not me saying that people don't have the right to be offended. However, you can't be offended when a disabled person is disabled. I might make a part 2 to this. There's a lot that I need to say.
On the fallout.
Well, the thing is this. All right, I appreciate you really giving that good breakdown of what the condition is, right? And that's true. And if people were warned that it may be things blurted out during the broadcast, that's fine as well. This is on BAFTA. This is on the award show that has a delayed broadcast that can edit things out. All right. So if that condition in which he speaks about is true, Okay, all right then. We can't control it, I guess. Whatever, right? I'm not a fucking neuroscientist. I'm not a behavioral expert on that type of thing or nothing. So, all right, I'll give you that. But this is still on BAFTA, bro. This is still on the award show for not editing it out. There's no way around that.
Didn't start with social media. BFTA issued a statement taking responsibility and apologizing to Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo. The BBC also apologized and said that the language should have been edited out before the delayed broadcast aired. And
Thank you. So you don't get to apologize, bro. You don't get to apologize. You know what you were supposed to do and you didn't do it. You don't get to apologize. All right. So with that being said, we out, man. Because that's pretty much that's pretty much it. So, all right, man. Shout out to the Tourette's syndrome people. Shout out to my melanated people. Shout out to Colombia. Shout out to Asia. Shout out to Africa. But we out.